a little-known toxic travesty of Anniston, Alabama. Okay, Anniston, Alabama, along with Fort McClellan, Alabama, was poisoned by Monsanto and their different chemicals that they love to play with, and basically poisoned the town of Anniston, Alabama. Got sent to court. Ended up getting ordered to pay $700 million to the residents of Anniston, Alabama, because they basically killed them, ruined their lineage, because now their kids are going to be poisoned, and their kids are going to be poisoned.
DNA altering.
And let me tell you, man, it was some nasty chemicals that they had going there, and I happened to be one of the soldiers that were down there during a period of time, and crawling through the dirt, eating dirt, and all that good stuff, being contaminated myself, but just go look that little bit of information up and see if it don't scare you enough to where you're thinking, my God, why do we even have GMOs here?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why these countries are banning and burning their fields that contain GMO.
Yeah.
There's a reason,
It alters the DNA. It gets in and it literally changes your genetic coding. And, we wonder why there's so many problems. And we're going to get into that with the autism.
And to me, that, genetic altering, that is scary stuff.
Well,
what can they,
it's
we already know.
Dr. Frankenstein, it's Frankenfood.
Yes,
and,
it is.
And we own it all in the U.S. Other countries are banning this stuff. And, just with wanting more and more research, there's been toxicology tests that prove the, carcinogen properties, the hypersensitivity reactions, behavioral effects. Food dyes cannot be considered safe. And the FDA should ban food dyes, which serve absolutely no purpose. There's just no purpose for them in food. The chemicals in the food dyes, by the time they're done with that processing of that food, it's more than likely with the temperatures they use and what they allow to be in it, it doesn't have any taste. It doesn't have a good texture. It's not appealing in the color that it looks. So then here comes all the food dyes and the flavor enhancers and all those other chemicals, You'd think that companies in the U.S. would be voluntarily replacing these types of things in food into natural colorings. In the late 80s, I had a colostrum product. And because people, when it says that it's raspberry flavored, cherry and raspberries, the actual coloring of them are clear. But people do have that mindset that, this says that it's raspberry and cherry flavored, so, it will be red. And so kind of to take care of that mindset that the average person would have, I used beet powder in the tablation formula to make it just kind of a hint of pink. And I used stevia in it as a sweetener, and it was less than 3% of that tablet had stevia as a sweetener, and it was delicious. Though the product was excellent. I mean, I would have people calling me going, "Oh, geez, my little one got a hold of that bottle of colostrum, and they ate the whole bottle. Are they going to be okay?" And it's like, yeah, they're probably just not going to sleep tonight. When they're going to be feeling good. I mean, you might. You might have them up and around, a little hyperimmune OD, but completely, totally safe. And so, we're talking the late 80s. And when I put that formula together, I used organic acerola cherry. I used organic raspberry crystals. Well, they're clear. They don't have color to them. So by adding that color, the flavor was there, and their nutrient properties were there. But like I said, used a little bit of beet powder, and the only side effect with a little beet powder is, hey, you're going to give your liver the ability of a little bit of support, so it can detoxify some of that stuff that you've been breathing and eating, that the liver is bogged down with all of those chemicals and trying to figure, God, what the heck do I need this stuff for? You just keep, assaulting. You keep assaulting the liver with all of this. So the results of these studies in the UK and in Europe is what's promoted these countries to do, immediate advisory to parents, warning labels, and, and responsible companies have removed those things from the foods. And I want you to remember that in the natural kingdom, all of our red foods are for the blood and circulation. They help the liver and the spleen. All of your green foods, those are your minerals and your trace minerals. You find that they help with also bringing the body, your green foods, help to alkalize the body. Your yellow and orange foods are used for digestion and elimination. So when people have a lot of digestive problems, it's best for them to, have squash, things that are yellow and orange, carrots, sweet potatoes. Those things are very soothing to the digestion and to digestion and elimination. All of your purple foods, they're super, super high in antioxidants. They help with blood purification, and they're very high in antioxidant properties. Your mangosteen, your blueberries, acai, all of those, very, very high in antioxidant properties. This with ADD, want to go through some of this that I have here on ADD. One thing I do want to make a note here is I had talked about my friend in western Nebraska in the Panhandle. She has, her and her husband have adopted 5 children that all had special needs. 2 of them are autistic, and one has cerebral palsy, and another one has another neuro condition, and the other child was just, the oldest one was years and years of abuse. And noticing how sensitive these children were, she's also an herbalist, and she's an amazing gal. They grow all their own food. She raises organic beef, grass-fed, on virgin land that's never been crop dusted. The chickens and the eggs and everything, but she makes homemade skin products from her excess goat milk that she has, and she also does some extracts that are also specific for children with attention deficit, ADD, ADHD, autism. And I was incorrect on her website. She has a new website, and that is her website is doublelcountrystore.com, doublelcountrystore.com. And if you access that website, you can go through that and see all of the products that she makes. They're all organic. They're handmade in small batches so that she's able to control the high quality of everything. And she doesn't use any food colorings and stuff in that. They're bases of goat milk and a lot of essential oils that are organic. And then the tinctures that she makes are specific to helping children with concentration and mental clarity, to be able to focus, and also to calm them, to take care of the anxiety. So Laura has some wonderful tinctures on her website that you can also purchase, and this can be used for the children and adults in your life where you are dealing with these two conditions. Looking here for where I had everything. Okay, attention deficit. The attention deficit disorder and the attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, they're characterized by improper attention span. They're very impulsive. The children or even the adults can become very hyperactive. There's a tendency to use poor judgment in organized activities. A true ADD, there's often a weakness of the sympathetic nervous system with a corresponding overactivity of the parasympathetic nervous system. It's very easy to tell whether a child is suffering from anxiety or attention deficit by looking at the pupils of their eyes, and this has to do with iridology. If you look at the eyes of the children or the adult, a pen light or these new LED flashlights, hold that off to the side of the eye. Do not put that directly shining into the eye. Hold it off to the side with a magnifying glass and take a look at the pupils. If the pupils are really large, it signals an excess of sympathetic nervous system activity. So standard nervine herbs. Your nervine herbs are your hops, valerian root, skullcap, chamomile, lobelia. Those things are used to bring balance to the sympathetic nervous system because of its overactivity. And there's a combination called Stress J. Lavender oil, essential oil, is something that can be put on the pulse points, the behind the ears, wrists, the bend of the elbow, behind the knees, or you can put that into some purified water with a little bit of vegetable glycerin in that, and then add your oils to that. Shake it up, put it in a little spray bottle, and just mist them, and mist them in the face with that. And so that's the lavender essential oil. If the pupils are really small, very, very little, and contracted, then there's an excess of the parasympathetic nervous system. And so things that have a calming effect when the pupils are really, really tiny is caffeine. So that helps. It kind of works the reverse. It's just like I'm going to go through these medications that the medical field likes to prescribe, and Ritalin is like meth. It's like prescription meth. It's like cocaine. It's like you're giving your children this type of a toxic medication to control their hyperactivity, because before puberty, something like Ritalin has the opposite effect. So what happens prior to puberty and children using Ritalin.